The man from Gallifrey. He is the 12th Doctor. Make some noise, Boston, for Peter Capaldi!
Thank you. Hello.
Welcome to Boston, sir.
Great to be here.
So, how's the Fan Expo been treating you so far? So there's a lot of balancing to do here.
Yes. It's been lovely. Everyone has been very sweet.
It's, well, we're happy to have you here. And, you know, actually, before, well, first off, guys, you should know the drill by now. There's a microphone right there. You can get in line with your questions. Don't push, don't pull. Let's be good nerds to one another. And also, I'm going to ask, if you are not directly at the microphone, if you are physically able, squat down so the people back there can see, because it's a full house, all right? So hang tight, we'll be cool nerds to one another. My first question, actually, is not a Doctor Who question. It's the 10th anniversary of In the Loop, the film In the Loop, which is a great film from a great series. And I don't know, it's also kind of prophetic in a lot of ways. Is it about time to bring the thick of it back, or?
I think the sad thing is it's all beyond a joke, really.
Yeah.
It's really tough to make jokes about politics at the moment, I think. Well, in one way, it's very easy, but I think there's a lot of hard things going on in the world, both in this country and in our own country. And I think... Funnily enough, I just did a film with Armando Iannucci, who did In the Loop, and it's David Copperfield, not the magician.
The Dickens.
The Dickens novel, but a lot of people think it's a life story of the magician, David Copperfield.
Of making a Statue of Liberty disappear, yeah.
Absolutely, well, somebody else is doing that. That's... Whoa!
Sharp as ever, sir.
Yeah. So that's going to be out soon, but that's not very... Well, it is kind of political. It is kind of political because it looks at Victorian England in a comic way, but also quite a biting way. And, you know, Victorian England is always portrayed as a very kind of quite nice place to live. But in fact, it was, you know, driven by capitalism of the most aggressive kind. And if you fell through the cracks in Victorian England, you really had a tough time. So the film reflects that, but it's also hilarious. So
That's a nice
what's saying?
Well, you know, Boston actually has its own special connection to Dickens himself. Yeah, like
what's that?
You guys probably know this, the Omni Parker House, right? Like there's a famous mirror there where he recited. He when he was doing his live shows for A Christmas Carol, he came through here as like the whole story was kind of gelling, and he recited, did a live performance of A Christmas Carol here, and now they honor that with a special mirror. And supposedly, the ghosty story, the paranormal story of it is that you might even see Dickens in the mirror looking back at you.
Oh, that's very cool.
So,
very cool. I like that.
Sorry, it's sort of an aside there. But let's go ahead and throw it to a question. There's a man with a fez right there.
A man with a fez.
Yeah.
Indeed. Hello and welcome.
Thank you.
So, playing the Doctor, a lot goes into that, a lot of complexity, character that's gone on for decades, a lot of actors playing him, her, it. So my question is, when you took on the role, you know, every Doctor, there's core elements that are essential to the Doctor, but each actor or actress has their own interpretation that brings out their own qualities for that regeneration of the Doctor. When you came in, what were some of those qualities and how much input did you get? Like, were you working with Moffat on that? Like, did you get a say on what your Doctor was going to be?
We didn't really talk about that very much. I mean, I'm a professional actor, so I come, or hopefully I'm a professional actor. I just show up and do what's written and try to make that work. But so we never sat down and said the Doctor should be this, that, or the next thing, but it was clear if you had me and this face and the former hair that I had, that it was going to be a certain kind of Doctor. I think my sense of it was really that I wanted to capture something alien. some creature who would find it difficult to relate to human beings and to either understand them or care particularly about them. That he belonged to the cosmos and not to Earth. So I think that's kind of what we tried to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Was there an element of like, especially early on in the run, of course your Doctor evolved over time. Early on in the run, it almost felt like he was a little bit like a cranky parent of an accidental pregnancy. Like, sort of like he was gonna be a parent. He was gonna be a parent to these imperfect children of Earth and the cosmos, but also kind of disappointed and constantly annoyed with them.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good appraisal of it. Yeah, I think and also I think he was really fed up with the kind of Earth kind of obsession with itself, with the human sort of obsession about how important what's going on their planet is. I think that bored him, and I think he wanted to get on with exploring the universe. But I also think it's always a little strange to discuss him in human terms, because he's not a human being, and I don't even think he's a creature of a kind of corporeal kind of form. I think if you have the capacity to travel through time and space, you don't really need, a big collar and robes and a scarf and a sonic screwdriver. I think these are all things that the Doctor creates so humans can feel more comfortable around him.
It's fascinating because, like, when you're in the TARDIS, you're able to understand the other languages that you hear, but it's almost, it seems like what you're suggesting is a way that, like, humans anthropomorphize the Doctor. Like, we try to fit him into our formula.
Absolutely it. But also he anthropomorphizes himself.
Yeah.
Because that's how he has an interface with the human race, who he is very fond of.
That's mind-blowing to think about.
Well, look, if you can travel through time and space, you don't belong to this realm.
Right.
But if you are interested in the inhabitants of this realm, they're never going to make any connection with you if you present your genuine form to them, because it'll freak them out.
I would like to see that episode, yeah. Hi, what's your question?
Hi.
Hi.
You're my favorite Doctor, just wanted to tell you.
Oh, thank you very much.
So basically, if you had to pick one villain that would be your companion, who would you pick?
Oh, okay.
A villain to be my companion, Missy. I think that would have to be. Because she's the funniest.
Yeah.
And keeps me on my toes. And Michelle is fabulous. And right now she would say to me, "Why are you wearing your shades all the time?" So I will take them off. And reveal my eyes.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Hi again. I got a picture with you earlier. I wanted to know, because the 11th Doctor we know loves fish sticks and custard. I wanted to know, what do you think the 11th Doctor's favorite food is?
What, the 11th Doctor? You mean Matt?
No, the 12th Doctor's favorite food. What do you think it would be?
Lasagna.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You. Hello.
Hello again. So I think everyone here would agree that your speech in the Zygon inversion is one of the greatest speeches in Doctor Who history. But the speech that's been done by the most previous Doctors to date is Matt Smith's Pandorica speech. Every classic Doctor has performed it at a convention, and there's currently someone online impersonating you. So I just wondered if you would just take 60 seconds to read that speech for us as the 12th Doctor.
So I'm going to be a bad cop here and step in. I don't want Peter to feel like he has to be like the dancing monkey on stage. That's really my job, to be the dancing monkey.
I mean, no one's forcing him, but the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 11th Doctors have all done it. It takes less than 60 seconds. So.
No, but it's Matt.
Right.
It's Matt Smith's performance. That's the ultimate and best performance. That speech, that's Matt's speech.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your kindness and attention. But Matt's a fabulous actor.
I want to ask you. I think we've learned through the internet. We certainly know that your old bandmate Craig Ferguson, the Dream Boys, right? So he is a massive Doctor Who fan. I know you were and are a massive Doctor Who fan. I'm just trying to picture these punk rock lads of Glasgow then nerding out about Doctor Who as younger guys. Did that happen? Were you like, kind of storming the stage and then also like, oh, did you see the latest episode of Doctor Who?
Well, no. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but really, when you get into rock and roll, that's usually when, you reach a certain age when you leave Doctor Who behind. When you sort of think you want to get into, there's a world of sex and drugs and rock and roll, and you want to be a part of that. So you can't stay at home on a Saturday afternoon, which is when Doctor Who used to be on.
Yeah.
So you couldn't do that. You had to be out, getting ready for your gig and stuff like that. So no, we didn't. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Just ruined the fantasy.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
I'm sorry.
Hi there.
Oh, hi. Sorry. I don't know if you remember me. We had a photo up on Saturday and you ended up wearing...
I wore your hat. Yes, thank
Yes. You're welcome to wear it at any time.
It was...
yes.
It was nice and warm.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Anyway, my question is, what is your favorite performance besides the 12th Doctor?
Which role?
Yes.
I think my favorite role that I've played is one that you haven't seen yet, which is Mr. Micawber in the personal history of David Copperfield, which is, Mr. Micawber is one of the greatest comic/tragic characters. I've been played by brilliant actors, wonderfully so by W.C. Fields, and to be able to play that part in a production made by such a talent as Armando Iannucci was great, and I loved doing that.
All right, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Did Doctor Who, what did the performance of the Doctor, what did that contribute to your sort of performer's toolkit? Like, what was it about that role that you then took forward and said, okay, this makes me a better actor? Well,
doing Doctor Who, one of the greatest things about it is that there's so much of it. So for every day, for 10 months, you have to go and act. And you've got to try and do it well. You've got to try and bring new things to it and make it lively and try and be the best, performer that you can be. But you get tired, and sometimes you realize in order to have my energy for that big scene tomorrow, I may not have to be, I may have to do this one with a little of a lighter...
Pace yourself.
Pace yourself a little bit. So it made me realize that it was important not to be precious about your work. That doesn't mean not to respect it. That doesn't mean not trying to do your best. It means not breaking your heart or killing yourself if you don't get it right all the time. Yeah. Because tomorrow you have another chance. So and maybe some scenes are not so important as other scenes. And you can only do what you can do. But it was great, and also what was fantastic was we worked with a lot of different DOPs, and we worked with a fabulous cameraman all the time, and I could see immediately what effect lighting was having on me and on my face, and some people could light you very heroically where you looked like the Doctor, and some people would light you like you were just a guy who come in looking for, wandered into Dunkin' Donuts, one donut too many. So I learned all that stuff. It's great. It was a constantly kind of a learning experience. It was great.
Hello.
Hi. How's it going? So Doctor Who's fueled by a lot of speeches. Like every Doctor has that one speech that solidified their character. I was just wondering, what's your favorite speech from any of the Doctors? It doesn't have to be you.
My favorite speech is I Will Come Back.
Oh, yeah. That's always a good one.
which is William Hartnell's speech to his granddaughter, which I think is just sad and rather beautiful. And that's my favorite.
All right. Thank you.
There's an extra level of like surrealness, I guess, that set in when you, I would assume, when you acted opposite David Bradley as sort of the first Doctor. Was that a bit of like a, obviously it's science fiction, but when Moffat, when that idea first kind of came to pass, was it a bit of like we're going to do what now?
Well, it was strange because I'd actually seen David Bradley play William Hartnell they made Mark Gatiss did a show called An Adventure in Space and Time.
Great.
Which was great. And this was before I was Doctor Who, but Mark knew I was a great fan. And he said, we're doing this thing, and would you like to come down and see? He said, we've built a TARDIS from 1963, and I went down and I got my picture taken with the old TARDIS and stuff. And then I met David Bradley, who was dressed as William Hartnell. Now you've got to remember, when Doctor Who started, I was like 6 years old. So William Hartnell is in my childhood, and he kind of is this sort of dark and strange and magical figure. You can go back and look at him on video, on YouTube, or DVDs, whatever. You're not seeing what I saw. I saw something that was only meant to be seen once, and not to be viewed over and over again. And so he really meant a lot to me. And to see David dressed and looking so like him and behaving like him was great. And I had a selfie. I said, do you mind if I have a selfie with you? And I had my picture taken. And I sent it to Mark and I said, thanks very much for letting a little boy from Glasgow meet Doctor Who at last, which is what it was.
And that really was a great biopic, an adventure
wonderful.
of
Wonderful.
Adventure of Time and Space, right?
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Capaldi. It's an honor.
Peter. Oh, thank you. I'm Peter.
Yeah. So something I love about Doctor Who is that it shows the writer's name at the beginning of every episode. So you know exactly who to blame when your dear and beloved characters are slain in a variety of cruel and unusual ways. What's it like working with Steven Moffat, that mass murderer?
Well, he's fabulous, and I want to say something about Stephen, which is it's close to that point. The writer's name that appears at the start isn't always the writer who did the best work, because Stephen's job is to get that show on every week. His job is to make sure that there are scripts that are exciting and interesting and fascinating and funny. And sometimes the writer whose name you see didn't deliver a script that was so great, and the person that has to sit up all night and make that script work is Stephen. And Stephen will not take credit for the incredible jobs he did on some other writers' things, and some of the incredible invention that he brought to some scripts that were in trouble. So I would just say that a lot of people who have negative things to say about Stephen do not have a clue about the kind of stuff and the stories and the scripts that he did, many of which those same people love.
Yeah.
He's an incredible writer. What was the question? So was it like?
Yeah, what's he like in real life as a person?
He's great, because the most fun thing I used to love Stephen. At the start of every season, before we started the show, he'd invite me to his house and he would tell me what was going to happen that season. And he'd go through each episode and do the story, and he's like a stand-up comic. He would tell the whole, it was like Walt Disney or someone. He would tell you the whole story, and it'd be wonderful and hilarious and sensational. Of course, by the time you got to doing the story, it wasn't quite as wonderful, sensational, or hilarious because we'd run out of money or something would happen or whatever. But those were some of my most favorite evenings, were watching him telling me the whole thing. And of course, he loves the show and knows everything about it. So he's great to work with. Wonderful.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Interesting question. I liked it. Thanks. Hi.
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 Nice to meet you.
And you.
One of the great things about Doctor Who is that even when your era ends and you move on and do other things, which as an actor you need to do, I assume.
Got to earn a living.
Right.
What I'm doing here.
Your era still lives on in books and comics and all these other things. And of course, one of the big ones is Big Finish audios. Are you interested in doing any of those audio dramas? We can see your era again?
I think I just want to, I love Doctor Who, but it's, it's nice to put some distance between myself and the show. And maybe at some point I will, but right now it's a little too early for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
For that thought.
Thank you.
And all of the previous performers, seems like there's been some space before they step back in. Only David is he's stepping back in now, but yeah. Hi.
Hi. So when you first took over as the Doctor, they put in a lot of effort to make sure that, they explained why you, as the Doctor, looked like some random guy from, an episode in David Tennant's era. But you actually play 3 characters in that universe. You're also John Frobisher in Torchwood. Did either you or, the production team ever, have a theory on why this other random guy also looks like the Doctor?
I think Russell T. Davies has had a few ideas about that. There are some notions about it, but they have great, once they start rolling on those ideas, it's so fascinating. I don't know exactly what his Frobisher one was. I do know that there was in a Doctor Who comic in the UK, there was a character called Frobisher in the Doctor Who strip, who was a shapeshifter and was another theory. I think Russell's theory that is coming back to me, that he said to me, was really that Frobisher was related to Caecilius as a Roman, as a Latin. So as I'm Scottish, but my people are from Italy. So Frobisher could easily have been genetically related to Caecilius, etc., and so looked a bit like him.
And I think the line was that, basically, if they needed a reason, that he took on that face, the Roman face, to sort of remember that everyone can be saved, or there's worth,
It was a kind of
effort.
memory, it was a kind of aide de memoire to himself as to how to behave.
Right.
But then it's also, my assumption was that the process of regeneration creates a kind of cloud of misunderstanding and lack of the idea that the Doctor just goes click and is suddenly has all of his powers available to him. I don't think is right. I think he stumbles and struggles to find who he is. And I think that was a kind of designed to help him understand what his moral kind of responsibility was.
I love these little logical loops that we make as fans to get to that place, with Doctor Who and other genre, to be why did he have that face? It's because he needed a job in ancient Rome,
That's right. But it is interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
When Tom Baker in the 50th, alludes to the fact that the Doctor is almost choosing faces.
Some faces come back, or
Yeah.
Hello, young person. How are you? What's your question?
Hi there.
If you could come back as the 14th Doctor, would you?
Oh, wow. Are you a casting director?
No.
I think Did you know something?
I know, yeah. He probably knows what's going on in the internet. He's read some rumors or something.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I'm the 12th Doctor.
But if you have a part, call Peter's people. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Peter.
Hi there. How you doing?
I just wanted to say thank you for wearing my wig at the photo op.
Oh, that's good. Thank you for bringing your wig. It was very useful.
Hi, Peter.
Hi there.
Hi there. My question is totally not related to Doctor Who at all.
Right.
In your past work and in more future work that you have, is there anybody out there that if you ever had the chance to either work with or would want to work with, who would that be and why?
There's an incredible English director called Terence Davies, who you probably don't know, but is one of the greatest filmmakers that the UK has ever produced, and ironically struggles to find finance for his films, and I'd love to work with him.
Okay. Awesome.
Well,
thank you so much.
Take this opportunity. What films should people check out of his so they can support it and then hopefully increase his chance of getting funding?
Distant Voices, Still Lives.
Okay.
Which is a moving and haunting race memory of being alive in the UK in the 50s and 60s.
All right.
I don't think they've put that on a poster, though.
That's the pull quote for it, yeah.
Thank you, Peter. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Peter. I just wanted to, so the first time you were on Doctor Who was in Fires of Pompeii. How different was the experience in the Fires of Pompeii from the first episode where you came on as the actual Doctor?
Well, completely different because it was just, the Fires of Pompeii was just great fun because I was getting to go and be in Doctor Who. I didn't expect to have anything. First of all, even though I loved Doctor Who as a kid, I had nothing to do with the show when it came back. I didn't know anybody who worked on it. I didn't know any of the crew. I didn't know any of the actors. I just watched it on TV and enjoyed it. And then it was kind of slightly itchy. I thought, well, it'd be wonderful if they would ask me to do something in it. And then they asked me to be in Fires of Pompeii, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And my wife said, you're a professional actor. You should really read the script first. So I did. So then I went, and David was lovely and really looked after me and was very kind to me and showed me the TARDIS and all this stuff, which I was. So I had a great time, and I thought that was it. So it was a really kind of light, and it was a nice part, but the weight of the program wasn't on my shoulders. But then when you come to do the show yourself, you suddenly think, and the first thing I had to do was step out of the TARDIS and be the Doctor. That's a big responsibility. And that moment, I can remember the late Michael Pickwood, who's an incredible designer, who designed all the Doctor Who's I did, in Deep Breath. Yeah, give him a round of applause, Michael Pickwood. An astonishing talent. Made so much with so little money. And he created this bank of the Thames where the TARDIS plops down. And I make my first appearance coming out of that TARDIS. But when they shut that door and you're inside the TARDIS, not only was Jenna there was also somebody holding the TARDIS door shut. There was somebody else with a smoke machine. All people who I didn't know, like complete strangers. And you sort of got to try and get yourself ready to be Doctor Who and step out into that world. So there's more pressure, but there's more fun as well because you get to be the Doctor and you get to blow up the Daleks and stuff. So it's fun.
All right. Thank you.
Is there a special kind of pressure that comes with it, though, where, when you step into this role, it is, by definition, a temporary gig. You are just a caretaker of this character for a bit of time, and it's also like, you got to keep that ship afloat. Don't run this thing aground. Don't screw it up, Peter, sort of situation. Did you feel that pressure of like, oh, man, this thing's lasted for 50-some-odd years. Yeah. I better not screw it up.
I think there was only 2 days that I ever felt like that. And I had to be talked down. Because, really? Yeah, because you can't take that on. You can't, if that hits you, you're terrified.
Can't do the job.
You can't do the job. So I decided and it's generally what I do when I'm working is, don't look down. Don't ever, go, I'm in this thing, and it's this, and it's a brand, and it's going to be at, Comic-Con, and it's millions of people love it. You can't think about all that. You got to just think about the script, the story that you're telling, and the part that you're playing, and you can't worry about the rest of it. So, but when you do, it's terrifying. So I deliberately put it aside.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you didn't screw it up.
Kind of you to say.
Hi.
Hi, Peter. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Not related to Doctor Who, more generally speaking, do you have any advice for young people who are conflicted between choosing a quote-unquote practical career versus following their passions?
I think if you can bring both of those things together, that's great. I think ultimately you have to do what your heart tells you to do, but you have to listen to it carefully and not stupidly. And if you want to act, if you want to paint, if you want to do stuff that everybody tells you you can't do that or that's not going to be easy.
Visitors, the show closes in approximately 30 minutes. Enjoy your last few moments.
Okay.
Whoa, enjoy your last year. That's ominous.
That's right, that's great.
At the con or period?
That's right.
Things are going to get real dark in here. We might literally need you to be the doctor.
That's right, yeah. That was
Put
like
the sunglasses back on, Peter.
That was like a really awful Doctor Who episode there. From no, you do what you love. Try and do what you love, but you got to eat. So feed yourself, feed your family, and try and do what you love too. So that's life. You got to,
Yeah.
I was lucky I got to do what I loved, but not every minute. Sometimes I had to do stuff I didn't like just to pay the rent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Where's she gone?
Hi, how are you?
Hi. I wanted to know if they, when you first became the 12th Doctor, if they gave you time to, acquaint yourself with the console and stuff.
Oh.
That's a cool question. The first person who showed me the console was Jenna Coleman, because she'd already been on the show, and I came down just to do the regenerate for a day. I stayed in a hotel overnight. I visited the set during the day. They were all filming with Matt and stuff, but I'd never been on the TARDIS. So it was Jenna that brought me onto the TARDIS and showed me the console. She had no idea whatsoever what switch did what. Nobody ever gave me any clue. So I worked it out myself. I decided this would do this and that would do that, and and so I tried to make a specific. There would be a specific process for working the TARDIS, but it was only me who knew it. Nobody gave me a little guidebook.
Thank you. I love you so much.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, another doctor in the house. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So you did a lot of work with Michelle Gomez,
Yeah.
and I was wondering if you had any funny stories from being on set with her.
that you can share in a public setting.
No, Michelle's hilarious, but she sort of does her own thing. You know what I mean? You go, where's she gone? You'll be acting with her there, and then you turn around, and then she's gone. She's gone somewhere else. You've got to try and find her. And she's just generally a kind of microclimate of laughs, but also a terror. Because she can also spin on a penny and looks like she's going to break your neck as well. But no, she's great fun. And she's from Glasgow too, so we have the same kind of background. So that's always nice.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah, she seems like sort of, based on my interviews, like a force of nature. Like she just like.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's great.
Hi.
Hello. Whoa.
It's all right. Coming in hot on the mic. That's okay.
Yes. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for being the Doctor, for one thing. Hopefully we'll hear more of you in either audio or whatever upcoming anniversary special that'll happen in about 4 years' time. Fingers crossed. What is next from Peter Capaldi?
A thing with a bald head.
We missed the hair.
Yeah, the hair came off only on Thursday of this week. So I'm quite shocked to be doing this. But it's for a job that I can't actually tell you what it is, I'm afraid, right now. But it's for a film that we're going to do here. So you'll find out soon. I'd love to tell you, but I can't.
So watch this space, as they say.
Yeah.
But you have Copperfield coming up.
The next thing that will be out will be David Copperfield, which is coming out next month, I think. That's a kind of funny sound, the clink of a can there being kicked down an alleyway. It took me back to Glasgow.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question for you. I'm a little nervous, sorry.
That's all right, I'm a little nervous too.
Other than the 12th Doctor, who is your favorite Doctor?
That's a tough question.
Other than the 12th Doctor. He's my favorite. I don't. I think they're all brilliant. I love them all. I think they're all wonderful performances. And you know what? One of the things about doing new Doctor Who is that it fills you with even greater respect for vintage Doctor Who, because we have computer-generated effects and fabulous, lots of money, and in the old show they had no money. They literally had nothing, and you'll never find a moment in any of those old shows where any of those actors are nothing but 100% committed to the truth and to making you believe. And it was harder for them than it was for us. So that filled me full of greater respect for them. Good question.
Thank you. Yeah, very good.
Thank you. Also, can I have a high five?
A high five? What's a high five?
A high five.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Great.
Yeah, baby!
And Peter was never heard from again. Just swallowed by the audience.
Okay.
All right, so guys, we are running down on time here. We don't have a lot of time, so I want to get through a couple of these kids. All right, so just try to keep your questions quick, and I'll get through as many as possible. Okay, so real fast.
Hi.
Hello.
If you had to choose any character in Doctor Who would you be and why?
Davros.
It's a good one.
Because I'm so lazy, I love that chair.
Right.
Thank you.
It's probably got a mini fridge in there and everything. Hi, what's your question?
Hello. What is never mind. Bye.
Oh.
I'm great with kids.
Hi. I'm nervous.
It's okay, you're doing great.
How did it feel to transform from the president of the Doctor Who fan club from the real Doctor Who?
I was never the president of the Doctor Who fan club. I was Doctor Who, however.
But you were a big fan as a kid.
Oh yeah, very big fan as a kid. I used to write to Doctor Who all the time. I had all the autographs. I had Patrick Troughton's autograph, and John Pertwee, and Tom Baker. And William Hartnell wasn't well, but his wife wrote me signed a picture for me. So I was crazy about Doctor Who. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, I think we can manage 2 more questions.
Hi, Peter.
Hi there.
God. Admittedly strange and off-topic question. Do you have a blue number? And if so, which one is it? And I can explain what I mean if you need me to.
I don't know what you mean.
Okay, so synesthesia. Some people associate letters, numbers, or sounds like middle C with colors or other sensory experiences. I just wondered if you had any of that, because a lot of artistic people do, and just curious which number was TARDIS blue or sound -6.
Oh, okay. So like a number associated with the color blue.
Yes.
In his.
I apologize for being weird.
No, no, it's cool. It's interesting. I've never gotten that one before.
3.
There you go.
Excellent. Thank you.
3 is a good blue number. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
I wanted to ask, what was your favorite part of playing the Doctor?
All of it, really. Every day was great fun because I got to be Doctor Who and got to, work the TARDIS and blow up Daleks and do those wonderful speeches and work with a lot of people who were lovely. The team down there in Wales are fabulous. A great, wonderful crew, the best crew I've probably worked with, and terrific personalities. And I miss them a lot. But to be a Doctor, to play the Doctor is wonderful because you do get these little moments where he sort of arrives and inhabits the space, and that's quite moving and special. You're very cool.
Thank you. Well, guys, we are out of time. However, as the voice in the sky said, I hope you enjoyed spending your final moments with Peter on stage. Boston, you're awesome. Make a lot of noise for this gentleman, Peter Capaldi.
Hi, this is Aaron Ashmore, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe like now. Oh, and have fun and follow your fandom.